I'll give you a quick, you're going to hear my background. You don't really give a shit about my background. So you'll hear a lot about me in the next few minutes because I think it's going to serve you. My intention today is to support you guys and where you're at and what you want to create, not just with the team, but in your life in general. I was a graduate from the year 2014 at the University of Scranton. I went to the University of Scranton to play soccer and to have fun, and kind of 50-50 on those is what I wanted. And it's pretty interesting how it all turned out, especially that, well, you'll hear what I'm talking about. So my understanding from PIV is that the team morale is a little low, which makes sense because you can't practice, you can't play. And most of you came to this school to play and enjoy ball, and you worked your ass off most of your life to do so. And now you're in a position where that's been taken from you. In some way, it's been jacked from you because of coronavirus, because of whatever's going on. And there's a position in this where it's like, I had no control, and look what happened to me. I get 4 years of college to play ball and have fun, and one of these years is being jacked from me. What the hell is going on, right? And we come into this victim mindset of why me, why this time, why did this have to happen? What's up with this situation? So what's interesting about that is that you and I are not very different. You and I went through very similar experiences, although mine didn't include coronavirus, but mine did include going through some traumatic experiences, not getting what I was supposed to have. So I'm going to give you a little background on where I came from and why I'm talking to you today, because why the hell is this kid in here doing what he's doing, speaking with us right now? So in the year 2010, I was a senior in high school. I was killing the game. I was all state, all whatever, all those things. My team was in the state championship. I was a baller in high school, captain my team, like most of you have been or experienced in some way, which is why you got recruited by coaches or recognized by coaches. And to me, my whole life mission, I had one thing. I wanted to be a good person, and I wanted to play soccer. That was it. That's all I cared about. So I was only looking at Division I schools. I had 2 conversations with 2 small D2 schools in North Carolina because of the physical therapy department they had there. So I was considering that. And then one rinky-dink little D3 school in Scranton, Pennsylvania was interested in me that I talked to. And I really didn't give them the time of day because I was focused on soccer. I wanted to play pro. I wanted to go to the next level. It was all I thought about. It was my only intention. But this guy, this little short guy, kept popping up at all my tournaments. And he kept introducing himself as Coach Piv, and I was like, okay, he likes me. That's cool. Feels good to be liked at tournaments. And back then, it wasn't as much back then. I feel old. Back then, it wasn't as easy to get the video out there and the content out there. Now you can literally, it's like nonstop. Everybody's videoing everything, right? But back then, coaches came to tournaments, I feel like way more than they do now. They're in person way more. And he was there. 4 different tournaments I saw Piv. I don't even know if Piv remembers this. This is going to be fun, guys, because you're hearing Piv's never heard me tell this side of the story, so this is going to be good. So throughout this time, Scranton wasn't even on the list in my head. And when Piv talked to me about coming there, I was like, honestly, thank you, but no thank you. D1 is where I want to go. I want to focus on getting to play pro and go to that next level. So I totally shoot it off. Comes decision day, and my dad is sitting me down. Somebody knows what I'm talking about right now. When dad sits you down, and he's like, we got to talk. What do you want to do? Because this is about school. This is not about soccer. I know you love soccer, but this is about getting an education. And I am lucky enough where my parents pay for my school. I'll be straight up. I didn't have to pay for school. They were paying for it, which means they got to make the final decision if it was good. Even though they said I get to make the decision, I'm not the one putting down $200,000. So I was either going to take whatever scholarship I got to these schools and go with it, and then they were going to pay the rest. And I knew that they get the final decision, right? So as I sat with my dad and he said, you want to do physical therapy. That's your mindset. Scranton is one of the top schools in the country for the 7-year DPT program. Go. That's the thing. And I got to make the final decision with them, right? But all I could think about was soccer. And that last week I made a quick decision, called Piv, said I'm coming through. He kind of answered the phone like, what? Like shook that I was even coming through. And then tryouts began. This is kind of crazy. I did not understand the idea that college soccer in D3 meant tryouts. I didn't have any siblings that went to college ball. I clearly wasn't super educated on it. My understanding was that once you called and said you were on the team, right? Because all the D1 coaches I was talking to was like, you sign the papers and you're good. That's it. You're on the team. When I showed up and heard there were tryouts, I was like, you mean like we just have to show up and do preseason? Like that's what you're talking about? So I show up, I go through, and I had a horrible first day. Terrible. Captain's practice, terrible. And I came back to my room. I was like, what am I doing? Wake up, man. Then we start tryouts, and we're going through. And I was not playing at the level I wanted to. Partially because many reasons. But one of the biggest reasons was I came in unprepared. I didn't train enough. I ran. I could beat everybody in the fitness stuff. But I came in completely unprepared on my foot skills to bring what I knew I wanted to bring to the space. And then the mindset thing started coming. Why am I not playing well? And then I started playing games in my head. So here's the crazy part. The kid who wanted to play pro, the kid who spent his entire life training, the kid who had it all mapped out on how I was going to kill it, that kid just got cut from a Division III soccer program freshman year. And if any of you have the mindset of like I did, you can understand what it means, how painful that would be to get cut from the thing that you said you were going to have your whole entire life. I was coming here to have fun. I was like, man, I'll go D3. I'll be the stud. I'll be the king. I'll just score goals. I'm a striker. I'll just score goals. It'll be easy. I'll be the leading goal scorer. I'll play every game. I'll play all 4 years. That was the mentality I had. I had a chip on my shoulder. I thought I was hot shit. And then I got here, and I didn't make the team. That feeling completely destroyed me. I bawled my eyes out. I got back to my room. I went into Piv. I literally went to Piv's door. He locked the door, right? Because he probably didn't want to deal with my shit. I went to try and find him and be like, there's no way. You messed this up. You like, right? Like, my name's not on the list. You're confused. I'm supposed to be on this team. And he was like, sorry, next year. Guys, I can't express to you as everything I ever worked for. Gone. Because one guy said I wasn't good enough. So that year, I start training. Guys, the amount of times I got in trouble, the building, what the hell is the new buildings? Now they're old. Right across from the cafeteria, that big building, and the little, like where all the houses are, by Clay and everything, there's a wall that I used to just kick at. But it was like the senior apartments. So the police used to come and yell at me because I'd be kicking at the wall at like 5 a.m. for classes, just training my touch. I would be all over the field because I wanted Piv to smell me. I wanted to be on the field when they started practice. I wanted to be at the field when they were off practice. He probably still didn't even notice me, right? I was just there. I just wanted him to know I'm coming. And I was determined. Guys, I gained 15 pounds of lean muscle mass. I was shredding in the gym every day. I was sprinting. I was training. I have all these videos of me doing free kicks at the top of the box nonstop before practices. I had no business being there. This was the game changer. And guys, seriously, this moment changed my entire life. When I got cut from the team, I don't know if you've all ever like disappointed your parents before, or if you give a shit about disappointing your parents. My parents are the two most important people in my entire life, and now my girl, and including my siblings, right? My parents gave everything to me. So to have to call them and tell them that everything, all the 200,000 miles that was put on my dad's car to drive me to tournaments, the endless stays in hotels, the flights to games, the teams that cost a gazillion dollars, the jerseys, the cleats, the everything that they invested in me on, that I messed up. I came in unprepared and I got cut. Imagine making that phone call. And that moment, I called my mom and I couldn't even talk. But the only words I could say was I didn't make the team. And I couldn't speak anymore because I was so ashamed. And she said something to me that literally changed my life forever. She said to me, I told her I wanted to transfer, obviously, right? I got to get out of here. I got to go play. She said, if you are leaving Scranton because you think you're not going to be happy there, and you think you don't want what you're going to get what you want from college there, and that it's not the right place for you, then we support you in making the change. Me and Dad support you. And then she said, but if you're leaving because someone told you no, we do not support you transferring and leaving the school. And that one hit. You know when mom says something that just like stings you a little bit? When she said that to me, it was probably the biggest defining moment, definitely in my career for 10 years, 11 years. But it was the biggest defining moment in my life to that point where I had to come to terms with the fact that A, I messed up. B, there was no getting out of it. No mommy and daddy hooking it up. And C, I had to make a decision. It was time for me to make a decision about my character and who I wanted to be. And I got an email from my mom yesterday when I told her I was speaking to you guys. She flipped the shit. It was hilarious. She's like, oh my God, you'll hear why in a minute, right? She like couldn't believe it. So when she said that, I remember the feeling of I wanted to go and that all my problems would be answered if I went somewhere else. And I could just go somewhere where I was appreciated and where the coach cared and where things could be taken care of and I could play ball. I remember that feeling. But something in my gut said, if you really want to win, if you really want to take it to the next level within like yourself as a human, I need you to stay here. I need you to stay right here. So I trained and I trained and I trained and I trained nonstop to get to a point where I could go in sophomore year, call Piv and say, all right, coach, I'm ready to rock. Let's go. I remember writing the email. I was sitting in my parents' house in the Adirondacks. I was like writing the email like, oh, coach, I'm ready. Tell me the date. Tell me the time. I'm there. I've been training. I'm ready to rock. Look forward to seeing you. Bloop, bloop. I get the inbox. And the email says, Pags, we have not heard from you all off season. You are not welcome to come try out for your sophomore season. Good luck with everything. So I want you all to just swallow what I'm telling you right now. Told no freshman year after everything I did to create my future and have this opportunity to play. And then I was like, okay, you know what? I'm going to listen to my gut and I'm going to stay and I'm going to train. I'm going to give it everything I'm got. I'm going to do everything I can to fix this problem. And then the opportunity comes and again, no. So you can imagine at this point the victim mentality I have. Why does this guy hate me? What did I do wrong? This is the mindset I have at this point. And again, another decision opportunity. Same thing. That voice came in from mom saying, if you're leaving because it's the right thing to do, because you can't be happy there, because it's not the right place for you, I support you. But if you're doing it because somebody told you no, we do not support you. That voice was ringing in my head. If you're doing it because somebody told you no, don't run, don't leave. So I stayed and I trained. And boy, did Piv hear from me that semester. I was all over it like a fly on shit. I was visiting once a week, just knocking on the door. If he wasn't there, Coach Andy at the time, our support coach, so I was like, Andy, if Piv comes by, let him know I stopped in just to check in. Right? So then spring season comes. And I asked, can I please come and train? Can I be in the spring season? And Piv's reaction was kind of like, yeah, okay. Like, this kid won't leave me alone. So, spring season, you remember this, Piv? I was leading goal scorer spring season. He let me play, and I scored the most goals spring season. So, my junior year, go to tryouts, make the team. Y'all, you don't even get how freaking jazzed up I was. This is not 2 years in the making. This is 20 years in the making. The opportunity I've been waiting for to finally play. I'm in beast mode. I was feeling like the king. My energy was on a whole new heightened level that I never experienced for myself because for the first time, and maybe some of y'all are feeling this for the first time, I was told no and there was no scapegoat. There was no way out. I was told no. And my whole life, I figured it out how to get the yes. This was the first time I got a real no, and I figured it out. It took me 2 years, but I figured it out. I broke the Piv machine. The guy who just didn't want me there, I figured it out. I got onto the team. And that year, we made it to the Elite Eight. You guys heard about this. We made it to the Elite Eight. Best run, I don't know if it was school history or a long time since we had a run like that. Long, long time. And the years before, we were not doing so hot. And I promise you one thing, guys, that was not me. I want to make something super clear. I was not the one that got us to the Elite Eight. Did I have some dope goals at the right moments? Absolutely. Scored the game-winning in OT to take us from the Sweet 16 into the next round. Game-changing goal. And 100% was not me. I did this much in the grand scheme of what that team had to do to get to the Elite Eight. But I promise you this, the energy of that team, the charisma, the focus, the commitment, the off-field that we had was 100% different because I was in that locker room before games, during games, and after games. And I spent more time on the bench than I did on the field, and I had a massive impact on how that team showed up. And that's one thing I know Piv will stand by. I showed up for that team off the field. And that changed my life forever. And what I'm here to talk to you guys today about is understanding that you can look at life as a victim or a victor. You can choose to look at life and opportunities as they're working for you or against you. And some of you right now, all you can see is the victim mentality right now. All you can see is, dude, I'm not even playing. Why are we even talking about this? I can't even play. I'm not talking about playing. I'm talking about your life. I'm talking about where you going next. Soccer is amazing and powerful, and it teaches you teamwork. And some of these guys on the screen are going to be your brothers for life. And the connection that you're going to create is going to be deeper than any relationships you've ever had before. I feel you. It's all important. The game experiences, it's powerful. The grit, the hustle, the YBMI, all that. You're going to have to fight through that. I got it. But this is this big in the grand scheme of what your life is about to look like. And what you're learning right now is real life shit. What you are going through right now in this moment is not about a game. It's not about the team. I hear you. We're here to play soccer. We're here to perform in school. We're here to get an education. But what you're learning right now is more valuable than any piece of the education you'll get, is that you are not a victim to the circumstance if you choose not to be, but instead a victor of your reality that you get to create. All right, I'm getting hot. I'm getting heated, so let me cool down for a second. Through all of what happened with my soccer career and where I went, I got to start cutting Piv checks. I got to start sending him monthly checks in the mail. Because what happened after that was I got a gig. I got a training job at my local gym when I graduated. I ended up doing counseling and human services. I couldn't fly with the science on DPT. If you're doing DPT, God bless you. I was out like first 7 weeks. I was like, yo, bio is no good for me. So I ended up doing counseling and human services, graduated, and there was a gym down the street from my house where I did my high school internship. And it was half gym, half physical therapy department, right? And I wanted to go there and just like, whatever, train on the side, wipe down the machines, like keep the place clean. They pay me $12.75 an hour. And then I started training people, and that would give me $27 an hour, which was pretty sweet, right? So I was training, but they had me doing all the shifts that nobody wants to do. 4 a.m., wake up, walk down the street. Took me 15 minutes to walk there from my house, or I would drive. Took me 12 seconds to drive there. I'd wake up, half asleep, 3 espresso shots. And I'd get the gym ready. 5,000 active members, not a small gym, so I was getting the place set. And then I also wanted to have a life, so I would hang out. I would work till about 7, 8 p.m. I would hang out with my boys after. We'd go grab a couple drinks. We'd hang out. I'd get home at midnight, shower up, eat, get to bed by 12:30, wake up again at 4. I was sleeping 3.5 hours a night. I did that for about a year. But there was a drive inside of me because I had been told no before, that I can't have something. And I realized that if I want something, I just got to be able to work hard enough and do what I got to do to get it, right? So I just kept going, and I kept going, and that business turned into a 6-figure business real quick that I ran on my own. Within 2 years, I had my own personal training business. I was the co-owner of a boutique fitness studio. Y'all heard of like Barry's Boot Camp or Soul Cycle? I owned something like that called Rip Fitness. I was a co-owner of that at the age of 23. I was doing really good things in the fitness industry. I was becoming one of the most notable fitness instructors in the world because New York City is very well known for their fitness. They're the top in the world, and I was one of the top in New York City. So I was really proud of the things I was doing. I was getting recognized. I was in magazines. I was on TV shit. I was all over the place with fitness stuff. I was really proud of what I built, and I promise you, the time that I spent sleeping in the closet of my gym, waking up at 4 and going to bed at midnight, the time that I spent putting in the hours driving back and forth, 3:30 in the morning, going to bed at midnight, that all would not have happened without Piv. Piv gets a check every single time. You guys have no idea. Piv's going to be freaked out. You have no idea how many times I think about Piv in my life. It was one of the most defining factors in my life, and my man was just doing his job. He was just creating a team that he felt most fit to play on his field. That's his job. But I played the victim card. I was hurt. I was burnt. I gotta get back at him. That was the pain I was feeling. Part of what I did was to show that I can be successful for with anything I want to do. And when someone tells me, no, I'm going to show them I can. But a shift happened. A shift happened for me that gets to happen for you right now. I started to realize I wasn't a victim. My vision said what I saw happening told me I was a victim. What really started to happen, though, when I shifted that perspective was I became the victor of my life. I became the creator of my results. I became the owner of what I wanted to generate for myself. What do I mean by that? The coronavirus thing, everything that's going down, you not being able to play, you having to be on lockdown, having to get your temperature checked everywhere you walk. We see it as wrong. We see it as something's broken. We see it as something's not right. And what I'm asking you to start to shift your perspective to today is that everything is exactly purposefully written as it is right now, and it's not a mistake. It's not an accident. It doesn't suck. It only sucks because your perception says it sucks, because your perspective says it sucks, because your boy told you it sucked and you latched on to his belief. What I'm telling you is right now you have the opportunity to show up in a way where you no longer get tagged as a victim for anything, ever. Because there's a lot of times, guys, in my life right now where I could have tapped out because I was the victim of something happening, of somebody else screwing me over, of my business partner not supporting me and taking the business to the next level, leaving 4 years of being a business owner and taking $0 out of that business. I worked my ass off for 4 years, got nothing out of it. I could play the victim role, but instead I'm like, I know how to not get played no more. I figured it out. Victor. Some of you are getting upset because of the situation that you're in. I'm saying the situation you're in is the gift that you need to learn what you got to learn about your life. Some of you are soft. Some of you are straight up soft. I would venture to say that most of you are soft. And that you have an opportunity right now to learn how to be stronger, to learn how to be mentally tough. That you could be training even though you're not allowed to be on the field. You could be training on your own. Some of you could be totally mentally preparing for the next level, for the next round, for the next season. And some of you are just chilling. You are not realizing the opportunity that lies here. And this is going to pop up all over your life, guys. All over your life. You're going to get jobs taken from you. You're going to have people steal money from you. Your car is going to get broken into. You're going to have somebody break up with you. Your parents are going to say some shit that they shouldn't be saying. You're going to get cut from a team. Things are going to happen. Things have already happened to you. And when you come from that mindset of these are happening to me and this is hurting me and keeping me where I am and I'm stuck because of this, that, and the other thing. This teacher gave me the grade. This person did that. Enough. What does that do for you? If I had played that game all day long, Piv did this to me. Piv, I can't play soccer anymore. And guys, there were other guys that didn't make that team that did not give. I was the only guy that did what I did. I promise you that. There were plenty of guys who lived in the soccer house who didn't play on that team. That got cut. I was the only one who stepped up and came back. And I got a chip on my shoulder. You want to know why I got a chip on my shoulder? Because now, today, you guys are watching it come to fruition. I'm telling you right now, the work I put in 2010 came to fruition in 2020. Some of y'all pissed off when your results don't come in 10 minutes. Some of you guys get pissed off when you're struggling for something for a semester. I'm telling you, I got a call from Piv to talk to you about how to show up 10 years later. Are you hearing what I'm saying? Some of you are pissed off at the circumstance. The circumstance from 2010 brought me the opportunity to speak to you in 2020. What a gift getting cut from soccer was. What a gift that guy saying no to me was. What a gift me not having it my way. What a gift that was. And it's hard to see it in the moment. I'm with you. I get it. It's hard to see how this could be a gift. What I'm asking you to do is try harder. Try harder. There's an opportunity lying in this. Like straight up, we could just brainstorm all day. I'm looking at a bunch of guys who are tight maybe, but you're not as tight as you could be. I'm talking to a bunch of guys who are trained and they're working at and they're athletes, but you're not quite as athletic as you could be. I'm talking about team camaraderie lies here, but not as tight as it could be. And you're not doing nothing about it. Or you're doing something about it. And you know there's another level from you. You have the opportunity to take what's given to you and to make something beautiful about it. Like really change what's going on. And it's these small things, guys. It's the small decisions, the small commitments, the small show of dedication and discipline and commitment. This builds into bigger things. How you show up now will be how you show up in overtime, double overtime 2 years from now. I promise you, I made the run down the field and tapped the ball. I did not have some sexy goal against Colorado College. The ball came rolling across and I tapped it in. But the only way I tapped it in is because I was willing to make a full sprint run from a corner kick all the way down to tap that ball in. That's why I was there. But I had been practicing going full sprints for 2 years at that point. Because I was told I wasn't going to be able to score any more goals. Because I was told I wasn't allowed to. I stepped into the opportunity mindset. What a gift it was. I barely played that game. Pip didn't even play me. He put me in the last few minutes and I tapped that ball in. The only reason I tapped it in is because I made the run. Some of y'all not making the run. Some of you guys are just taking it for what it is. If I had been in the mindset of Piv's not letting me play, if I had been in the mindset of, oh, God, he's benching me again, then I wouldn't have made the full field run. I would have walked around head down, pissed off. But because I was excited, this is the opportunity. I love you, Piv. You gave me the opportunity for the last 15 minutes of the game in double overtime. What a gift. Had I been in my mindset that a lot of you are in right now, this sucks, this isn't right, this is not what it's supposed to be, I wouldn't have made my full field run to get that goal. So y'all hearing what I'm saying? This is like, shake your head if you're hearing me or if you're just like passing on. You guys get it? You hear what I'm saying? Victim to victor. It's a game changer when you're willing to start to see things working for you rather than working against you. And my challenge for you is, can you get on a team meeting or even do it on your own and bring it to a team space? Can you start to envision what is this opportunity that lies here? Because it's not about the field. You guys don't have the field. You can't change that. I'm sorry about it. You can't get on the field. That's it. So what's the opportunity that lies here? These 4 years in the grand scheme of what you're going to create in your life are this big. But each decision impacts what happens 10 years from now. Y'all, if I told you in 2010, after getting cut from freshman year soccer, if I told you in 2020 that I would be a speaker and I would be given the opportunity to speak to the soccer team at that time about the comeback and about living in a victor mentality, I would have been like, dog, you crazy. That's not possible. And here we are. What areas of your life are you chalking up as not good enough? What areas of your life are you calling the wrong thing? The world is working in your favor. I know it sounds crazy with everything that's going on. The universe is not out to mess you up. I don't know if you believe in God, the universe, any higher power, whatever you believe in, it's not working against you to piss you off. Newsflash. It's absolutely not. On the contrary, it wants to support you and guide you, and it's giving you information all the time. You're not supposed to be on the soccer field right now. I know you think you are. You're not. There's something lying here that you are not seeing because you choose to be the victim of what's going on in the world. I'm telling you right now, our soccer team in 2012 would not have made it to the round of 8 had the camaraderie of the team not shifted from the 2 years prior. And I take a lot of responsibility for the energy brought into that locker room and the vibe and the good vibes and the show up early and the hustle and the grind. I give myself a lot of credit for that. What's the difference between year 1 and 2? By the way, we got 7 or 8 new freshmen. Go ahead, Piv.
Yeah, I just wanted to chime in just to say, to back you up. I if there's one thing that I remember will stick out forever is what you that energy level and positivity you brought to the team day in and day out. And I told Coach Matt today, like, I don't remember a practice going by where you didn't come down with your South American tea, whatever that was, and sipping the tea and shaking all the coaches' hands and just ready to roll. Like it was an attitude and a positivity that you just fed off of, and it just permeated through the team. And you're right. I mean, you can tap yourself on the back about the energy you brought. It was completely different with that positivity and that mindset you had on the team.
Appreciate that. Been waiting 10 years to hear that, guys. Not actually, but actually. For real. And I need you guys to hear that, because for real, that was probably the toughest experience of my life that I went through. And to hear that come from him now, I didn't expect it from him. He didn't need to say that. And I didn't expect him to show up and say that. But what I need you to hear is that I worked on the things, and I did it with dignity. I did it with honor. I didn't show up and say, fuck this guy. Like, I didn't do that. I showed up, and like he said, I shook his hand every time. Every practice, every game, he'll stand by that. I shook his hand, even when he didn't play me, even when I didn't practice well, even when I practiced great, even when any circumstance, I did it the right way. I did it with honor and in alignment with my values. And some of you guys, your value of hard work only applies when you're standing on a soccer field, yet you're bullshitting in the department of school. Some of you guys have values of being a hustler and a grinder. Until tough things come up, then that value kind of goes out the window. I'm asking you to ask yourself, what are your values? What are you committed to? Who do you want to be in your life? And is that happening on the field? Is that happening off the field? Is that happening when you talk with mom and dad? Is that happening when you talk with your homies? Is that happening when you're at practice? Is it happening when you're not at practice and training on your own? Are you living in integrity with who you say you are? Guys, is what you've heard every big sports person talk about, the life lessons that sports teach us. Because life is sport. Life is failing and having to get back up. Life is stepping up in the big moments and learning from the lessons that you got to learn from each spot. Life is making the team or getting cut from the team. This is life, guys. It's just a mirror. That's all it is. It's a mirror of life. It's the same stuff you're going to be visiting. So if y'all have a lacking mentality right now, if you're all down in the dumps right now, oh boy, do I pray for you as you go forward in your work life. For real. Because it's this big what you're dealing with. I know it feels big because you're in it. But it's this big. And now I speak with the passion I speak with. Y'all can hear the passion in my voice. This is not a one-time thing because I'm talking to you. I do this every day, and I do this probably 4, 5, 6 times a day on different calls, different groups, different teams, different businesses. I make my living off of this. And that passion was driven by the failures and experiences I had. Because I now have the opportunity to look at all that's going on as a gift. I'm looking at all of it as a gift. I'm flying back and forth across the country in coronavirus. What a gift. It ain't safe, but it's a gift. I'm looking at what's going on right now. And even, dude, we had 9/11 the other day. I'm watching the news. I remember I was in 4th grade when that happened. I don't even know if you guys were born for that. Shit. If you were super young. No, you definitely were not born. Oh, my God. 9/11, I was in 4th grade. And I remember watching New York go from fairly disconnected and proud individually, but disconnected as a city, disconnected in terms of the energy of what New York was like. I remember watching that shift of people just supporting each other and all the news about it and watching people lift up. I'm not saying 9/11 was good. I'm saying if you choose to see the power, if you choose to see what came of it in a way that works for you. I lived in New York the past 4 years, and it's a different place because of what happened. I'm not saying I'm happy for 9/11. I'm saying it was purposeful. And some people can't register that. And the more you live in the victim mentality, the more you live in everything's wrong, this is not what it's supposed to be, you will not find yourself ever getting a full feeling of like, I'm gonna be like, life is working for me. You'll never find that. Because you're always looking for ways for things to go wrong to prove that you can just sit back and be the victim. Some of you guys want to live more in your bullshit than you want to do in your glory. You're missing out on an incredible opportunity because you want to be able to play the victim card. I get that the victim gives you some payoffs. You get mom and dad to feel bad for you. You get everybody saying, oh, you poor thing. You get the pity party. You get to take it easy. You get to live and sulk in your shit. You get that, and that's comfortable. You get to play it comfortable. I get that there's a payoff for playing the victim role. But I can't even begin to tell you the prices that you're missing out. Like, you are paying some heavy prices for playing victim card right now, for letting the team morale come down, for feeling out kind of caught off guard and something was taken from you. You can't see the prices you're paying. I'm telling you from a guy 10 years down the road, I'm now getting paid back for showing up even when I didn't know that showing up was going to give me the biggest gifts in the world. Because of how I showed up when I was 18, 19 years old, it has completely defined the fact that I can make six figures, no problem, doing what I love. It completely defined the fact that I met the woman that I'm going to marry in the way that I did. It completely defined the relationships I have with my family. It completely defined the work I've done and the accolades I have. It completely defined getting all the sponsorships and deals and ambassadorships that I have. All that stuff is a byproduct of what I did when I was in your spot right now. Are you hearing what I'm saying? Where you are right now is going to define what you have in 2030. And y'all acting like it's just a season going by. I wish someone had told me what I'm telling you right now. I wish I would have doubled down on my energy. I would have doubled down. I would have hugged Piv goodbye. You do not understand the impact that you are creating 10 years down the road. And some of you, that means you have a family at that point. I'm 28 years old. Some of you are going to be 28, 29, 30 years old in 10 years from now. You might have a family. You might have a wife, husband, kids. You might have some serious thing, a business. You might be working at a high-level job. You might be, I don't know what it's going to look like, but a lot is riding on how you show up right now. So if you can't do it for you, do it for the people in your life that are going to be impacted 10 years from now on how you show up in this moment. I'm going to say that one again because you're sleeping on it. If you can't do it for you right now, because I know sometimes it's hard to muster up that strength, know that your mom's going to be impacted on how you show up right now 10 years down the road. Know that your dad's going to be impacted on how you show up 10 years down the road. I make my parents' life better because of how I show up. My mom just wrote me an email yesterday about how proud she is. I made my mom happy because of what I did 10 years ago. She said it's the most proud she's ever been of me from 10 years ago. And some of y'all sleeping on the opportunity. Wake the fuck up. This is bigger than soccer. It's bigger than soccer. Piv, I don't know what else you want from me. That's what I got for you, dog.
Yeah, that was pretty good. Your energy again is just contagious, and I just bring back a lot of great memories of that year we went to the Elite Eight, the bus trip up to Babson, and it's in like I said, the impact you had as a player, and you don't really know the previous 2 years where you weren't there. You don't know what obviously wasn't there, was lacking. Did you bring that, Jerry? You definitely were able to bring something different to the team, and we ultimately, I think, combined with that and a lot of other momentum, we were able to be very, very successful, and it just kind of just goes to show, I think you're speaking from the heart, and I don't think you're saying anything from me. Like, what you're saying is absolutely the truth. Like, you were a grinder. You wanted to be successful. We gave you obstacles to be successful. And you just put your head down and pushed through it and found ways to be successful. And I think that you're a testament to that sort of mentality. You're talking about a victor mentality for sure, and not being a victim. And it's easy to be a victim. And I think obviously these guys, that are on the team now, we had a lot of great momentum after the fall and going into our spring season. We were very, very excited. We did a really, really good job recruiting this first year class, and we were excited with the level of talent we had coming in and coming back. And, it's tough for these guys. It really is. And I think that your message today, I hope resonates with them, to give them a little bit of perspective and kind of energy going forward. It's not going to get probably any easier with the way the semester is going to go, and how you shape it yourselves individually is going to carry you through. You could be positive or you could be the victim guy and have a negative experience. And, like I said the other day in our team meeting, you need to make the most of this. Get out on your own, run in the hill section, run downtown, go to the fields. The fields are open. You can kick around. Like, you guys got to make the most of it. And like Nick said, these moments now will define you. What's your character like? What's your character? It's building your character now. And 10 years down the road, maybe you get fired from a job. How do you react? It's the same situation. And obviously Nick can share that stuff. He's got real life experience and 10 years out of college now. So,
guys, it's and like, I'm probably gonna get in trouble for this. The physical aspect is this big. I'm not saying don't run the hills, but I'm telling you right now, the thing that's going to change, again, the full field, your body. So I've been in the fitness industry for 11 years. I know a lot about fitness and wellness. I'm very understanding of what goes down in the body. Your body can do absurd things, absurd. And over, as I studied more of the body and the mind and the connection between the two, what your mind can make your body do is absurd, right? I've been working with Whoop. Y'all know Whoop, the Whoop bands? You know what I'm talking about? Anybody thumbs up? No? Y'all don't know what Whoop is? Damn. It's an actable a wearable device. LeBron used to wear it all the time. Tracks your sleep, tracks your training, right? And it has a recovery score for you. And it creates analytical evidence of how your body's going to perform the next day. Like, you can literally see your recovery score and how you're showing up. And I've been working along with them and the stuff that I do with mindset. My business is all around mindset. I work with athletes. I work with CEOs. I work with people on the things we're talking about right now. And I combine the two and understand how the body impacts the mind and the mind impacts the body, right? And over and over again, 10 times to Sunday, the body is so easily affected by where your mind is, to the point where there's endless science of people curing cancer through mindfulness practices, of people losing weight, gaining strength without lifting a weight through mindfulness practices. Like, literal studies done of people doing dumbbell curls and then other people just thinking about doing dumbbell curls, and the same results happen in the same amount of time. Crazy. But your brain is that powerful. It can actually manipulate how your body shows up. Why do I say that? Because yes, I get that sprints are important. Yes, I get that kicking the ball against the wall or going and having a pass is super important. Please do that. It is wildly important. And what you have is an opportunity that's forcing you into a room, either a virtual or a real room, with your team to be able to work on the mindset in the game, to be able to create camaraderie. Like Piv said, there was a shift from year 1, 2 that I was there where I didn't play to year 3, and proof is in the pudding, fellas. Elite 8 from not even making it to playoffs, that's a big shift. And it wasn't a coincidence, and it wasn't on accident. The mindset shifted. The way we showed up as a team was different. So I get that we get to put a lot of attention on the physical aspect. But if you guys can show up mentally more driven, more clear, more focused, more intentional than any other team, bro, you will be taking shits on Catholic. You'll be taking shits on Elizabethtown. It will be a joke to watch them try and catch up with you because the mind is so in sync with what you want to create. It's up here. Guys, it's no mistake that Tony Robbins, the guy who works on the stuff that I'm talking about right now, the master of it, works one-on-one with Conor McGregor. He is the reason why the Warriors had that crazy run that they had. He worked with them in the locker room It's all about mindset. And you got coaches and trainers that are going to teach you how to do the physical stuff, and they're going to have you do what you got to do to get physically there. Rely on them. They know the information. They're no dummies. But what are you doing up here that's prepping you? And with all these pouty ass faces that I'm seeing right now, straight up, it was like, man, like the gift that you have to work on you right now, you should be jazzed up, man. You should be jazzed up. What an opportunity you guys have. And if people have more problems like you guys got right now, the world would be a better place. Straight up. That sounds so backwards. But if people could deal with more of the problems that you guys are dealing with right now, not getting what you want, things not looking like they're supposed to be, if people started to learn how to take that on with a gift mentality, with a victor mentality, the world would change real quick. Because all these things are happening for you, with you, in alignment with you. The universe is no dumbass. It's not messing things up for you right now. Something's happening that you're not willing to see because you think it's supposed to be a different way. It is exactly how it's supposed to be. And if y'all could say that to each other, just dab each other up and like even joke around with it, right? But whisper to each other on the reg, yo, it's exactly how it's supposed to be. Exactly how it's supposed to be. Exactly how it's supposed to be. If y'all could just keep saying that, you could just keep saying that and make that true to you. I'm telling you, a game-changing experience will happen for you. And I know we're only keeping you for 11 more minutes max, but I want to offer you guys an opportunity to ask questions, thoughts, something you don't agree with where you want to explain more. Don't miss out on this opportunity. I'm damn freaking good at this stuff, and you're not going to find somebody who does this much better than me. So I promise you, if you want to work on something in your head right now, please ask. Don't be timid. You can just unmute yourself. Although, if I remember anything from my group of guys, nobody would be saying shit right now. Everybody just be silent.
Hey, Nick.
There he is. It's good. Alden?
Aiden.
Yeah.
I just have a question. What's your business? What are you doing now?
I yell and scream at people over Zoom, and I get paid 6 figures for it.
That's awesome.
So my background is 11 years of fitness. I owned a gym. Y'all ever heard of Performance House in New York City? It's like a fancy-ass gym in New York City. So I'm a personal trainer there, although that's not really popping right now. I have my own personal training business, group fitness business. I sold the gym space. Got nothing for it. And now I do mindset coaching. So I have a program that we launched on Sunday. It's called Project Limitless. And I work with people for 8 weeks at a time in a group setting like we're doing right now. We work 4 days a week, and we break down the mindset in your life and how you're showing up. So literally what we're doing right now, except more back and forth, Aiden, like you and I are doing, we do live coaching. And we had people, in the last 8 weeks, the cohort that was in there made over $100,000 in 8 weeks with their businesses. We have people break relationships that were bad for them. People leave 9 to 5s to start their own business. People healing relationships with fathers, like crazy, ridiculous results. And again, it all comes from mindset work. So that's my mindset business. I also work one-on-one with, like I said, athletes, CEOs, clients, in cohorts and groups. And I'm also I'm a Lululemon ambassador. I work with Theragun. I'm one of the 7 master trainers in the world for Theragun. Y'all know Theragun? Don't be buying no hyper ice pieces of shit. Make sure you guys get the real thing. I can explain that all to you. Pitt, we got to talk about that, by the way. We got to get your team some Theraguns. Yeah, that's pretty much the scope of what I do.
Cool. Thank you.
Anybody else?
Nick, what are some resources besides you, obviously, where with the mindset resources that the guys maybe could access, or something that maybe we could use to share with the team?
Absolutely. I think this is going to sound funny. Y'all, anybody know E.T. the Hip Hop Preacher? When you want to succeed as bad as you want to breathe, you'll be successful. Anybody heard that speech before?
No.
We got 3 guys.
Yeah.
I was about to say, y'all living under a rock if you have not heard that. It's probably the most viewed motivational speech of all time at this point. So I met E.T. on YouTube my sophomore year while I was going through all this stuff. And that was a big, big, big change in my life. He has TGIM. Thank God it's Monday. He does endless. I mean, if you watch 10 minutes a day from now until you were my age, he actually did these numbers. You could not get through all his content that's free. If you watched a video 10 minutes a day from now until you're 29, you would not be able to get through all his content. So there's plenty out there from him. He's incredibly powerful. Instagram is @ET, the hip hop preacher. And then Eric Thomas is his name. You can look him up on YouTube. He's massive. He is a game changer because he really talks about mindset. He talks in a very like hustle grind mentality way. Huge. And it's easy access. You can just find him on YouTube. And I know it sounds douchey, but like, guys, I do a lot of focusing on what's going on. Some of your news feeds right now are the reason why you suck at a lot of things in life. For real. Some of your news feeds are the reason why you're like awkward with friends. Some of your news feeds are the reason why you like have a bad attitude all the time. Where your focus goes, your energy flows. If your focus is on negativity and like only on Barstool Sports. Y'all see me on Barstool Sports last week? Twice last week. No? Nobody saw me on Barstool? Damn. You guys really are living on the rock.
I'll have to check that out. I don't follow them.
Yeah. I was on Barstool.
Was it some miraculous thing you did in the Hill section when you were in college or something?
No, it definitely wasn't good things. I was on Barstool and Sports Center last week, actually. I killed it last week. So if your attention is on crap like that, like, and dumb videos of people like blowing bubbles and weird shit, and that's where your focus is while you're swiping during this time, that's what you're going to get. That's the type of energy you're going to have. That's the type of, like, that's what's going to happen. And what I'm asking you to do is fill your feed with things that are going to invigorate your mind. Start putting, if you swipe, and yes, you get to have the Barstool smoke shows and all the good stuff on it. You get to have that. I'm with you. And if all you're doing is swiping and everything you see makes you feel dumber, fix that shit. For real. And like DM me, guys. We could talk about things to follow. But if you're just swiping aimlessly and drooling while you do it, and it's not serving your mindset and it's not talking, you don't have to be like the hustle, hardo, grind guy. I'm not that. I know it sounds like I'm that because we're in business right now. But for real, like, you don't have to always be driven. All I'm saying is the stuff you're looking at making your mind mush? Or are you listening to people talking about positive content, about changing the world, about a driven mindset? Like, wake up and listen to that shit for 10 minutes before you do anything else. Take one act of discipline in the morning that's uncomfortable for you. One act of discipline that you would hate to do. Like, some of you will not wake up before class at 10. You will not wake up before 9:40. You will not. And I'm saying, can you wake up at 8 and do one thing that's uncomfortable? A cold shower. Can you go for, 10 sprints up Clay and down? People think you're crazy, but you could do it. Right? Like, show up. Or stop whining about not getting the results that you want. You can't do both. You can't not show up and whine about your results. Either show up or shut up. And I think when it comes to social, we spend so much time there, guys. It's just murdering your energy. It's murdering your focus. It's murdering how you show up. So my Instagram, I'll put it in the chat right now so you can all see it. And you can write to me and we can get all up in that and get clear on what you need to be looking at. But that's my stuff right there. Pib, what other questions you got? Or somebody?
When you wake up early like that, what's your mindset? Like, how do you actually motivate yourself to get up and not go back to bed?
I mean, truthfully, I look at the fact that, like, I get really clear on why I'm doing it. What's your name, Brendan? Brendan, for real, like, I don't know about you, but I think anybody else come from a privileged household, like mom and dad really took care of you? Don't be ashamed of it. They worked their ass off for you to be able to say that, right? Come from a pretty good home. Mom and dad hooked it up, or mom or dad hooked it up. The thought that my dad, just imagine this was you for a second, Brendan. If you worked your ass off from the age of 18 to the age of 55 so that your kid could go to school, so that your kid could play soccer, so that your kid could have an education. If you work tirelessly every day, my dad goes to work at 7, 8, 9 and comes home at 8, 9, 10, owns his business, been doing it since I was born and before that. The thought of him dying before I retire him, bro, seriously, I start to tear up. The thought that it hasn't happened yet, like I can't sleep in. The thought that my mom wanted to be in criminal justice. She wanted to work with kids. She wanted to do all these things. She gave up all of it to spend 29 years taking care of kids, being a stay-at-home mom, the hardest job that none of us will ever understand. The hardest job that she could do. She sacrificed her whole life to show up for us. The thought that that woman would pass on to the next life without me making sure she goes on a trip to Alaska, fully expenses paid, staying in the nicest fucking suite, and if she wants to fly first class, she got it. That's on me. The thought of that not happening blows my mind. And some of y'all know what I'm talking about because some of you care about your parents like I do. So I know that soccer seems small right now, but I'm not talking about soccer. I'm talking about how you show up disciplined now, Brendan, is quite literally how you're going to start showing up in your life going forward. And most of you, I'll see you in 10 years and you'll be at the 9-to-5 average Joe, just getting by, making 78 a year and like chilling with your boys and partying Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday fun day. And you'll love it. And you'll live in the city and you'll feel like the man and life will be dandy and you'll just go through the motions like most people. But I check in with my why. And what I'm answering your question with is you got to get clear on why the fuck are you on a soccer team? Why the hell are you showing up every day? Why is it important that you have to wake up? Would people even give a shit if you were gone tomorrow? Like, what impact have you made thus far? And I think that most of us, including myself, we got a lot of impact to make before we croak. So my why is the world gets to feel that I was here. My why is because my mom and dad get to be retired and go on all the trips that I said I was going to send them on. I got whys. I got lots of them. And now I got a girl in my life that I'm ready to spend the rest of my life with. Like, if that woman ever has a worry, shame on me. Shame on me. She certainly won't have a worry financially. I'm going to make sure that happens because that I can control. You understand what I'm saying? So check in. Like in the morning, first thing you do, I call it my to-be list. My to-be list runs my to-do list because we all can do the things, right? I want to build a business that makes a lot of money. Great, awesome. Like you're not going to do it. It's a crazy statement. But if I check in with who I want to be today, and again, this is something the team can do together and you can do individually. Who do I want to be in this moment to generate the results I want for my life? So that means I'm going to be driven, I'm going to be committed, and I'm going to be loving. These are the three words that I'm committed to being today. That beingness runs my to-do list. So if I'm being loving, if I'm being committed, and if I'm being determined that morning and that day, what then does a person who's being committed, determined, and loving do? That guy rolls over, gives this woman a kiss, says, I love you, stands up at 5 a.m. I don't need no snooze button. I'm getting up. I'm going for a run. I'm going to get my work done that I got to get done on emails by 8. I'm making sure that I get the calls done by 10. I'm going to be on it. I got a list that was created by my beingness, not by my to-do list. I created the list by who I need to be. So check in with who you want to be every single day and why you want to be that way. Cool? Don't forget that. Write that shit down. Anybody else? Thank you, Aiden and Brendan, for stepping up. Who's the captain on this team? Aiden and Jonathan. Jonathan first. How you showing up to play captain for this team? How you been showing up?
Ready to lead by example, by my attitude.
Great. What's that look like? That sounds really cute, but tell me more.
Gritty.
Okay. Tell me more. What are you doing? What action are you taking? How are you showing up for this team?
I'm going to be there first and I'll be there last.
Okay. What are you doing right now?
After this, I'm going on a run.
Hell yeah. Who are you bringing with you?
See what I can grab.
Aiden, what about you? How are you showing up for this team?
No, it's hard, Nick. I mean, these times suck, and well, like what you said, and you could look at it like you're a victim, but you got to take advantage of your circumstances. And right now, it's hard for me to be a leader on this team, be a captain, and try to motivate like this whole team, because at the end of the day, I can't force anybody to do anything, and really the only thing I can control is myself. So that's how I show up. I'm focusing on myself. I'm focusing on what I can do, like training every day. Like I'm currently in quarantine because I have COVID. So I'm doing homework at like workouts in my room. Like I can't go running right now, but I do have a running schedule when I'm not sick. So I show up.
I hope you feel better.
Thanks.
I'll keep you in my prayers. And I'm gonna challenge you. Well, first of all, y'all heard him. It's hard to control and support a team of guys. And listen, man, one of the most painful feelings is when you're trying to show up for somebody and somebody's not meeting you halfway. That shit sucks. And I was definitely not the captain of Scranton soccer. I wasn't even in the damn running, and I promise you that. But I showed up with the mentality like captain is easy peasy work. I'm going to show up like the king. Like I'm going to show up as the most influential motherfucker that these guys on my team ever seen in their lives. I'm going to show up every single day, not just on the field. I'm going to text them. Yo, you get your sleep? Yo, why you out drinking? Dude, yo, we had a commitment. Let's go. That's the type of show up. And Aiden, when you tell me you can't control nobody, I'm not asking you to control nobody. I'm definitely not asking you to control nobody. What I'm asking you to do is show up in a way where you could be the support for somebody that's not supporting themselves. And some of you better stop being dumbasses and making it hard for the guys who are trying to lift you up. Some of these guys see greatness in you that you don't see in yourself. And you make it really hard to want to be on your team. We have guys on our team that made it so damn hard to want to play with them and lift them up. And Aiden, it's no excuse. You still get to show up. You still get to be there for him. You still get to show up as the one who's going to be the light, the guide, the support system. All of you do, not just him. He's got a written responsibility. The rest of you 100% get to play the captain role in how we going into this. And imagine what it looks like when 20 guys, 30 guys are showing up as captains. Holy moly. That was my mission. Like, for real, Aiden, that was my mission. My mission was not to get people to follow me. My mission was to make everybody feel like a captain. If I could get everybody to have the drive that I had, like if I could get everybody on the field wanting to warm up early, if I could get everybody to want to have the same commitment, vision, and energy as I had, if I could just get people there, I wanted them to all think that they were playing the captain card. That was my mission. And I'm telling you right now, that made the difference, and that happens every single day. Do you see what's happening right now? I'm still doing it 10 years later. I still want all of you to start showing up like a captain. I want my girlfriend who works with my business to show up like a captain. I want the people who work in my business to show up as a captain. I want everybody to show up as a captain, because a lot of the problems will be solved if you all stop playing victim card and say, he's not letting me do this. The captain's making me go for a run. You get to start showing up as the captain. Worry about you. And then the captain's got that extra role to really show up and make sure everybody else is playing captain card too. Show up as a captain. All right, Aiden, you heard?
I like that. Thank you.
That's for all you guys. Anybody else? Don't miss out.
Well, I think this point, we'll start to wrap it up. And I don't think it's, happenstance that Nick's successful. I mean, with his way he approaches things. And it didn't happen just because it had, for fate or whatever, that Nick joined our program and brought a certain level to it. And we started to build something really, really special. We found success. And you can ultimately see that is carried on with Nick as an individual in his, 10 years from now, or 10 years from when he was part of this program. And his approach is very simple, but super impactful to his business, his team, his family. And I think his words are very driven, heartfelt, realistic. And I mean, I can attest that a lot of his stories and things he's saying were true. Like, he's not making this stuff up. Like, he was that every day. And it's the proof is in the pudding. And I do think that there are some very, very good life lessons in this, whether it's soccer lessons, more importantly, it's life building lessons that we're hearing tonight. And you can carry this with you forever. And you know, for that, Nick, you know, I'm grateful that you're able to step on tonight and share that with us. I hope that everyone's able to take something with them tonight after we stop the call, but forever grateful for your commitment. And you know, the 2012 season was memorable in so many ways, but your personality, the bus trips being your imitations of the bus driver, just a classic. Basil the bus driver, who I think ended up getting fired from March a few years ago because I was so mad at him for driving us to Dickinson. But that was such a classic, stopping at the Walmart there with a microphone on the bus and telling stories and imitating his Eastern European accent. It was classic. I can't even remember the name you used as the character. Something
I don't remember it. It was something like a pasta of some sort.
Yeah, it was a pasta. But I mean, I think you know, we haven't had a lot of time to connect since you've graduated, but I'm so glad you were willing to do this, and you know, I certainly will take a lot out of it. So, and I really appreciate you coming on, and I'm sure the team does as well.
Appreciate it, Coach. I appreciate you guys, because I know, listen, man, I know you're not so busy, but I know that attention span is short for us nowadays. So the fact that you're here for an hour, probably when you didn't want to be, I admire you for showing up and paying attention. And often what happens, guys, is like we're just not in the right headspace to hear something that could trigger us, right? That could change like the game for us. And again, I think about that moment with my mom and what she said to me. I was in the right headspace to hear what she said. Had I not been in the right headspace, that same sentence wouldn't have changed my life forever. But it did, because I was in the right space. So for that reason, I'm going to make sure you guys get the recording of this. I'll put it on YouTube or something. I'll make sure Piv gets it to you guys so that you could go back and watch, like when you feeling like you in a more attentive space, if you were kind of like whatever, head all over the place tonight. A lot of shit just happened in this call and you probably missed most of it. And this is some impactful stuff. So I'll make sure Piv gets that link. And lastly, I would ask you and challenge you for the betterment of you and your team and your life going forward. Take some time when we're done and just like to yourself and ask yourself, like, how can I show up as a captain in my life and for this team? How can I show up in the captain mindset? And what does that look like for you? Get super clear and specific on that and then take action on it. I appreciate your time, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you, Nick. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank
All
you,
right,
man.
well, good luck, guys. See ya.
Thank you.
I appreciate it.